the strength when I'm not feeling strong. He leads the way when I've lost my...
Hello, this is Hazel Crest Television. I'm Kimberly Parker, and welcome to this roundtable discussion in observance of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're joined here by three beautiful women, and I'd like to introduce them to you. First is LaTawn. LaTawn, thank you for joining us. Miss Melinda, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Miss Donna.
Thank you.
All right, so all of these women have something in common. They have all experienced breast cancer, and we want to talk to them about their journey, and not just their journey, but where they are now and how they've dealt with this word, cancer. So first, I would like to ask you ladies, how long has it been since you've been diagnosed and now in remission or cancer-free? Miss Donna?
I was diagnosed last year, April 9th of 2016. And so different people have different ways of measuring whether you are cancer-free or in remission. So when they removed all my cancer, which was in June 21st, I think. So I'm a year, a little over a year. That's when I said I'm cancer-free. Yeah.
Miss Melinda?
Okay. So February 2015, I was diagnosed, and October marks 1 year since the completion of my treatment. So this is very special to be able to share the journey here with you at this table.
LaTawn?
And I was diagnosed July 7th of July 2015, and I will reach my 1 year mark July, soon coming up from all treatments. But your question as you related to being cancer-free or in remission, let me put it to you the way that it was told to me from oncologists, and that was, there's no cure from cancer, so we have cancer. But what we're doing is we're learning how to live a new normal with it.
Absolutely.
And so it's so many different types of breast cancer that's out here. And I'm a triple negative. And so there's that 5-year mark that you have to hit. And so for me, I've already claimed I'm going to hit the 5-year mark. And then it's what is termed in remission. But I've already said the Lord's been good to me, so I'm in remission.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, I'd like to ask you ladies to please share with me, now that your treatments are complete, am I correct, all of you are done with treatments? And what I mean by this question is I assume breast cancer had been such a primary part of your life, the diagnosis, going through your treatments. So I want to know, now that your treatment is complete, what next? What do you do? Do you get a new routine? What now?
Well, I just wanted to comment. I'm also triple negative. And so typically women who have breast cancer have a regimen that they go through. They have medication that they have, and this, that, and the other. With triple negative, there is no medication because your hormonal activity is very slow. And so there's nothing to slow it down. And so after treatment, that is really it. You are supposed to now figure out how to eat, how to exercise, how to live well. Give yourself time to adjust and to, just regain your life. And so, with that said, it is tough, But I changed diet, trying to exercise more, laugh more than I ever did. I'm a laugher anyway. But to share, with other people whenever they have it, is to just make sure that I listen to them like so many people listen to me. It's just incredible.
Well, I wasn't triple negative. I had what they call the normal, whatever that means, type of breast cancer, but mine was a stage 3, and we didn't think it was stage 3 at the time. But once you've gone through breast cancer, really, or any kind of cancer, you have a new norm. And I think for me, after going through all of the treatments, I didn't know what to do with myself because you had that regimen, chemo every 2 weeks. Then when you had radiation, you went to radiation every day. And then I worked out like you did. And so I worked out like 3 times a week and just trying to stay healthy. And then all of a sudden, you don't have to do that anymore. So you're like, okay, I don't know what to do with myself.
What next?
Right. And I say that I'm in remission, but I have to take the pill. And so the pill has side effects. So I take a pill every day for the next 5 years. And you think about in your new norm, which I have found out, we think about a reoccurrence. And as you think about that, you have to keep saying in your mind, being positive, I'm going to fight. Just like I did. And I think all 3 of our doctors told us that once we were diagnosed, we were going to war. And so you really have to prepare yourself to go to war.
We don't come off the battlefield.
No.
Because they don't tell you, once all that treatment is over, they don't tell you what to do with yourself next. You know, your doctor's visits are still part of your life, but they're not as every day, every 2 weeks, depending on how you were getting your treatment. And now it's every 4 months for me that I see a doctor. Well, what do I do in between that time? You know, you are almost lost. So the cancer support groups are fabulous. And I think that's why we take them. Because you need sisters to sit and talk and give you, you know, some of their little references and recommendations. And it really is a sisterhood club. You don't want to be a part of.
Right, but we are.
When you become part of the club, it is amazing. The embrace, the love. It's just something how women come together.
Oh, it absolutely is.
And really help each other.
Melinda and I were talking because I was like, before chemo, my hips didn't hurt when I walk.
Exactly.
My hip is hurt, you know, when I'm walking. And, you know, when we were going through chemo, we all remember the nails getting dark, toenails falling off. And then we were crying about the least little thing. Then we would cry about we would laugh about the stuff we was crying about afterwards because in all retrospect, it did make a difference.
Right.
You know, like when I had my cancer, I didn't wear a wig because I naturally would get hot. And my fear is that if I had on the wig and got hot, I'd take it off wherever I was. So I decided to rock the ball. Look.
That's interesting you say that, Donna, because I did wear a wig for a while after going bald because I didn't want to shock. I was still working at the time, and I didn't want to shock clients and employees. And then all of a sudden, I started having menopause moments. I know I can't do this. The wig's got to come on. And I too, just like you, I learned to accept the ball and just say, look, this is who I am today. And that was the coolest thing. It felt so wonderful to have that hot wig.
Well, I'll tell you, I wore wigs and pieces prior to cancer. As a matter of fact, when I had my first chemo session, you know, they said that your hair would come out, and so the first week, nothing happened. I thought, well, you know, they said there's a small percentage of people where their hair doesn't come out, and I said, well, maybe I'm going to be one of those. And so I was at home by myself, and I thought, well, you know what, I need to get this thing off of me. And so I started pulling it. The hair literally just peeled off. I was by myself, and I was so glad that I was by myself. But I continued to wear a wig because that's what I did before. That's how I felt comfortable. My hair is just kind of like, you know, it does what it wants to do. So my hair's grown back, but, you know, I'm trying to get it to where I want it to be. So you know, one of these days I'm going to take it off and be free. But, you know, because I always did it, and this is what I've continued to do. But one day I will.
Well, ladies, I was going to ask you about what was the hardest adjustment, and you've already shared that. So let me take you another place. A wise man once told me that fear and faith cannot coexist.
Absolutely.
And I've heard often Donna say, I'm trusting my journey. So I want to ask you today, would you attest that your faith, your religion, your spirituality was and is a big part of this experience?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. I'm Catholic, and my husband also had cancer 10 years ago, so he was a nervous wreck. What our priest did for him when he had cancer was he brought us together and prayed for us that we would get through this and that God will see us through. And he did again for me when I found out I had cancer. And the prayer that he gave, I can't remember the words, but I could just remember the feeling. It's overwhelming. I felt strength immediately that God wouldn't put me through this because he, you know, if I wasn't going to survive. I knew I was going to survive. I just heard the words and I really believed it. And everybody that came around me prayed for me. when people say, I'm going to pray for you, some people say, I'm praying for you, and you say, no, you're not. I believe that people were going to pray for me. I had that feeling. I could feel it. I could just feel it, just the cards, the words, whether people knew or not, because everybody didn't necessarily know. I didn't necessarily tell everybody.
Okay.
And I put it on Facebook and all of that, but my immediate friends knew. But I always told them after I came through cancer, I started telling people, and they're like, wow, you didn't know. And I said, well, you know what? The words that you said to me meant all the difference in the world. All the positive words and reinforcement you gave, you didn't even know it, but you helped me through this journey. So spiritually, I just became even stronger because I believed that I was going to make it. I knew the Lord was going to take me through it, and I didn't fear. I wouldn't say I was a little afraid, but I didn't question the Lord. I didn't question the Lord. I just knew that I would just be okay.
LaTawn, tell me about trusting your journey.
Oh, Kim. Wow. I'm still trusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. It's amazing. Good.
Pass that over.
How good. If you don't know him, he'll give you a test.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sharing with the ladies earlier. You get it so you can have a testimony. I feel him every second of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a walk. It's unbelievable. So many people didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But we did. And that's something.
It is.
Yeah.
So many didn't make it, but we did, and we did for a reason.
Yeah.
And so I feel that the reason is so that we can sit right here as girlfriends
Mm-hmm.
and testify how good and how real he is. Because we wouldn't be here if he wasn't just that good. And he walks with me, I'm telling you, every single day I feel him. Little whispers, little things that other people say, all of a sudden, and you'd be like, wow, okay, well, I wonder why did he say that or she say that or why was that done? Nothing happens just because.
Yeah.
This journey has proven that to me. Nothing happens just because. It's divine order.
Mm-hmm.
We're living divine order. And this journey has strengthened me beyond trying to explain it to any of you in words. You can't take it and come out the same person.
Yeah.
You cannot. I don't care what your cancer is. You cannot take
Yeah.
the journey and come out the same person. He won't allow it.
Yeah.
He won't allow it. That's how good he is. And that's how good it's been for me.
Yeah.
So you know what, you start talking about the Lord, we've been in head church up there. So, because I testify all the time. Because he's already told me that's what I'm supposed to do. Can't be ashamed of what you've been through.
Oh,
Because
no.
you went through it for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is our testimony. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not about jumping up and oh, hallelujah every 2 seconds. It's just telling the journey.
Yeah.
Because it's not over.
No.
You know, we don't look like what we've been through, but we've been through
Through
some
some
stuff. We may not
That's
look
right.
like what we've been through. And so when people see us, they're like, oh my goodness, they got breast cancer?
Oh, you look good.
Yeah. But they don't know that journey. And so this is why we're doing what we're supposed to do, is to have our testimony.
Now, Donna, I coined your phrase, trusting your journey.
Well, yeah. The last year for me was a tough year. My mom passed away in January, And then less than 3 months, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And my mom had been sick for a long time. And so when I got the news that I had breast cancer, I'm like, I was always raised not to ask why me, but I was asked, what lesson am I to learn from this? I don't understand. And I think I know the moment that he actually spoke to me was I was sitting outside at my table on my patio, and I got the call that all 5 of my lymph nodes were positive, and that was going to have a second surgery. And that meant that it was in my lymphatic system. And I, at that point, said, I'm not ready to leave here, but whatever your will is, I'll accept it. My life changed at that point. And like you said, we're on this journey for a reason. And so I was at a store and I saw Trusting My Journey. And I said, from now on, Lord, I will trust my journey that you have put me on. Even when I don't understand it, I gotta trust that you're sending me in the right direction. And in doing so, you just like you said, people pray for you. When I was diagnosed, there's a woman, I call her a prayer warrior, Ernestine Dobbins. I called her and I talked to her, and I was crying, and I got home and I got in the bed after I got the diagnosis. I was in the bed, oh. And she called me later that night. She said, you done crying now? And I'm like, what? She says, you done crying now. Now we going to war and we gonna pray. And that woman prayed for me during a test where I would just be, I wasn't on 10, I was on 12, and I would call her and I would go to have the test done, because you all know how many tests. It seemed like every week you had to have a different test before you had surgery. She would pray, I would go to sleep during the test. You know, so I know how good God is. And your faith is so much stronger, and it gets stronger every day.
It does.
And I believe that we are here to share our stories, because people, other women and men can get breast cancer too. They need to know that you're not alone. The cancer support group is excellent, you know, because after we finish going through everything, then we start having issues, and we're like, okay, is this a real issue, or that goes with the cancer, or is it just I'm not feeling well? Because normally when you say I don't feel well, you don't think about it. But now when we say we don't feel well, we second guessing ourselves.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, what was that? Especially like with the hip hurt when you walk. You know. So I coined the phrase trusting my journey. However, I posted my stuff on Facebook because I need people to know that cancer is not a death sentence. And that when you hear of somebody having cancer, you don't have to look like you dead, all wore out, you know. You can have a good life. So I posted my pictures on Facebook so people could see, yeah, I got cancer, but I'm a fighter and life goes on. And as we were talking earlier, there are some things that I did that I probably should not have done. Like in hindsight, like I went to the Bears training camp when it was like 100 degrees outside. I thought I was gonna fall out right after chemo, you know. But I was determined to live my life as normal. And now it's like we were talking earlier, now we gotta get adjusted to the new norm.
Well, you know, you mentioned the pain. You know, I'm one that, you know, you kind of ignore some things and that, you know, that's one of the reasons why my doctor was on me before I was diagnosed, because I had gone to the doctor and probably 3 or 4 months ago, because I have high blood pressure. I've had it for many years. And so when I came back the next time, she said, so did you have your mammogram? Did you have your pap smear? And I'm like, oh, she says, and I felt kind of bad. She's like, well, you know what? I'm just here for you. I'll make sure you take care of yourself. So I had missed the mammogram the year before. And I said, oh, you know, I felt so bad, I'm gonna go. Because, you know, I was feeling pretty healthy in this. So when I went, it was really devastating to hear that me, you know, and like you said, you know, I was always taught through our pastor, never say why me, because the answer is why not me.
Right.
But, you know, so then I started paying attention to how I feel. And I had been ignoring this hip pain, been trying to deal with the exercise, this, that, and the other. And I'm with you when you say there's no coincidence. I've been saying that for so many years for, you know, personal reasons. So I just happened to, at work, they had some vendors come through, and one of them was a chiropractor. And so I went up to her and I said, you know, I think I probably need to come in and see you. And I said, you know, people always say I'm limping. And she says, yeah, because you're crooked. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm crooked? She said, well, one pelvis, one side of your pelvis is here and the other one is there. And she said, so yeah, you are limping. And so I realized that, you know, since I've gone through all of this, my mobility is not where it was before. And so I kind of tried to ignore it, but now I'm like, okay, now it's time to go on to the next level and do something about it. And that's, you know, so you mentioned, okay, well, where do we go from here? We need to just constantly take care of ourselves, examine ourselves. How do I feel? How do I look? You know, and I probably tried to ignore certain things, but, you know, it's a matter of just paying attention and just doing something about it.
I want to ask you ladies a question. As you're going through your journey, you're in your treatment, maybe you're not feeling well, or maybe you're not in your treatment and you're still not feeling well. Do you find that you try to put on a face so others feel that you're okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't post. I didn't tell everybody, only because, you know, people always say, oh, Melinda, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong. And so I'm supposed to be strong, you know, but Donna, you really did help me. My family helped me. My church helped me. For those who didn't know, and the people at work knew because, you know, there were days that I wasn't there. People would say after the fact, you had cancer? You were here. And I'm like, well, yeah, you know, I got through it. And I am glad that I showed that face, even though, yeah, there were many times I cried. And, you know, when people prayed, I remember specifically when my brother-in-law prayed for me. They were over to the house and he prayed. Oh, that was just such a most beautiful, beautiful prayer. Those are times where, you know, you kind of feel a little bit vulnerable because you're letting someone just come into your life and just say those words that you need to hear and really truly believe. When I go to church, even now, I sit, and my husband laughs at me because I'm always crying in church, but that's my relief. That's how I release all of those fears and anxiety. And I hear words I did before, but they're different.
Oh, yeah.
They're heard so differently. I've heard these passages before, but when I hear it now, it's like, wow, you know, and it just overwhelms me. It makes me feel, that's why I love going to church, because I hear something different that I need to hear for that particular day, and it takes me on for the week. It keeps me. It really, you know, helps me to heal even more so, you know, without the therapy, without this and the other, it really makes me complete.
Melinda, it's going to be that way now for life.
Yeah.
A song sounds different,
Yeah.
has different meanings for you
Yeah.
than anybody else. And that's not to say that, you know, they're not feeling and having their spiritual moment, but we feel it in a different way, with a lot more, I mean, in that soul, the passion is there, because for us, that's your moment with God. That's just you and Him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a song sounds different, a prayer. They're talking only to you. You don't. Everything else has just been shielded off.
That Marvin Sapp song, what is it? I can't think of the name of it.
Grace and mercy.
I don't know, y'all don't want me to sing. I'll be cutting up. But it's one of his songs. I cry every time I hear it. That God saw enough,
Yeah.
you know, in me
Yeah.
to keep me moving forward.
There's been so many,
Oh, yeah.
like worth fighting for. I mean, we can start naming the songs. They sound and mean so much more than if you were just listening to them. Just you know, like, oh,
Mine
it's a
is,
gospel song on.
my other one with my mom, it is well with my soul. Yeah, and I won't complain. Yeah, oh yeah. Now I understand. I understand what my mom would always say. It is well with my soul. I understand it now.
I say it all the time when people ask, so how you doing, LaTawn? I say, you know what? I don't have one thing to complain about.
Yeah.
I refuse to complain about anything, because I've been through something. So you won't hear me complain.
I won't complain. What do you say? I have good days and I have bad days. But my
I'm
good
not
days
complaining about
outweigh my
nothing.
bad days. I know that's
It's
right.
been too good to me to open my mouth and complain. No, won't do it.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites, I told my husband I wanted this at my funeral. He won't remember, but I
you
tell
remember
somebody
your
else. But, you know, but I say this only because this song means so much to me. If I can help my neighbor, my living shall not be in vain. Because, you know, this is living.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, this is living. You know, we can sit up here, we can complain and this, that, and the other, but, you know, it's better to pray about it, laugh about it, and then go on. You know, and then, you know, how can you help other people? I have a person at work who, she and I were not friendly, and she had breast cancer previously, and I knew that. And so she knew that I did, but we didn't talk about it. So one day she just happened to come to my office, and we spent about 30 minutes talking, supporting each other, talking about our journey, what we've been through, this, that, and the other, and it was really amazing because she's such a nice person. and I think that she found out that I was a nice person, but prior to that, you know, we didn't have two words to say to each other, so it changed our relationship because we had something in common. There's a couple other people in my job, the same thing, you know. I knew when they were going through it, but they found out later on that I was going through it, and it is a sisterhood where you just
Definitely.
That's the divine order,
Yeah,
Melinda.
yeah.
That's the divine
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
You didn't go through what you went through just because.
Yeah.
There's certain words I no longer use. I no longer say luck.
No.
Right.
No.
I no longer say hope.
No. Well,
I'm like, I know. I know that I know that I know. I can guarantee you that I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's my walk now, every day. So there's just certain words I don't use anymore. People say,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're so lucky." No, no.
yeah,
You gotta know the God I know. It had nothing to do with luck.
Mm,
It's divine order.
Absolutely.
Things don't just happen.
yeah.
They happen because He said it was supposed to happen that way, that day, that time. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why your journey went the way it went, so that you and her, because you both were on the same page, thinking that one didn't like one, and look, Lord said, well, let me show you something. Oh, okay, Melinda, you can ready to talk to her today.
Today, now only that 30 minutes.
30
Around the clock.
You know, when you find out about it, you have to turn it around because my lump was hidden behind a benign mass. And so by being in stage 3, that meant I had it for a while and it had to grow enough. And so I had to turn around that, wow, it was hidden. To God let what was hidden come to light so I could live.
Yeah.
Because had it not come to light, I could still have it.
Yeah.
And then the next time I go, every year when I go, it could have been stage 4. It could have been worse. So you have to learn to turn the negative into positive. But the key is then you get rid of negative people around you.
Have to.
Because I don't want to hear all that.
Yes, and he will make that happen too.
Yes.
And that's why I say it's not anything that just happens. It is divine order, because it was for you to go through your journey, Donna, for you to then turn around and you and I to connect, and because you had to tell me what to do and put in my hair. But you think about that, because that was information I wouldn't have known.
Right.
So I needed you when I needed you, and he made it happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I'm telling you, when you just take a moment and get quiet with yourself.
Yeah.
Even when we leave and go home today, you're going to drive home and say, you know what? Well, Todd had a point. Everything is divine. It's not by chance.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I thank you, ladies.
Well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm like, okay, it's just curly. I got like a curly afro going here. I don't know what to do with my hair. It's a new norm, you know, but it's all good, you know? It's like starting over.
That's exactly what
It's
we're
like
doing.
starting over.
We're starting over.
Well, you do recover, because my nails, I lost, out of the 10, I lost 5. And my feet, the neuropathy was overwhelming. The
I still have
pain
it.
in the feet,
I still have neuropathy.
I think that's,
Fingers and toes.
oh my goodness. That's the only time I missed work out of all, like, except of course I missed it when I had the treatment, and then the day after when they give you the little booster shot so you don't have all the
That
nausea.
Neulasta.
Oh, it's a wonder word. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Melinda.
wow, really?
It worked for you?
Yes.
Oh,
So the
it worked
first
for you.
day, the first time, I didn't know.
I don't know. The bone pain was so bad. I didn't realize until the last time I had Neulasta. If you take Tylenol, arthritis, it actually does better than that Claritin.
Well, I had no idea that the next day it might make you feel a little bit worse. You're supposed to go home and maybe take some kind of aspirin or something like that. Well, the first time I went home, I felt horrible. And I thought I was coming down with the flu. And I thought, oh, how can I get the flu? Oh, my God, not through all of this. So the next time I went, I told them how I felt. They said, oh, you should have taken something. I said, well, maybe you should have told me. But after that, I felt fine. I took, some kind of Tylenol or something like that, and I felt great. I didn't have, I don't remember being nauseous except that first time, because that booster really did it for me.
That
it was incredible. Now I'm not going to say I felt great all the time, like wanted to climb a mountain, but that booster, for what other people said that they experienced, the nausea, the fatigue. I was fatigued, because what it does to you, it takes, it destroys all your cells.
Yeah. Your immune
your
system
good cells, your bad cells, and it's amazing when you read, because you have to read and know why you have to go through chemotherapy.
Yes.
What is important with the cycles? That the cell cycle is very important to study. Science has done a beautiful job in understanding the cycle of cells and how it divides, and then the infusions go in and kill those cells in between the rest.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important that they understand that they schedule those cycles. So at rest, when they schedule it so that it kills those cells, and then you have time to recuperate, it comes back. Because all your cells, so even right now, my white blood cell count is low. So I'm still kind of struggling with that red blood cells, right now, white. But it is totally amazing what happens to your body.
Wow, that's wonderful that it worked for you.
It did.
For me.
It did. Yeah.
It did. No, it didn't. I was just a little basket case. But I did what you had asked us earlier, Kim. I put on the facade, the face. So, I was strong for everybody, but it just took me down. It did. The day after shot took me down. But for everybody, it's like, oh, she's really hanging in there. Yep, but y'all don't know. It's taking me down. So I'm grateful that it worked wonders for you. That's good.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your team, your family, your support system. You mentioned your prayer warriors. Talk to me about how they helped you and how you helped them, because it's an experience that you all go through, but those that love you go through it also.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. It's a shock for everybody. If you're married or you're in a relationship with your children, it's a shock, because I think once I got into taking the chemo, more regularly, it did have a disruption in my marriage, because it was as though, well, I don't want to talk to you, you're not going to talk to me, and it's because of the uncertainty of it. And I think it's where both of you, and I'm speaking now from a marital standpoint, you are both in fear. You're in fear mode. Even though you are walking your walk with God, there's still fear. And you are trusting, and you're trusting, and the more that you get stronger in your faith, that's what turns that around, and it allows that spouse or those children or that girlfriend or that sister to come back in and say, we're helping get it now. Okay. We're understanding now. But I think for me, having the best pastor and first lady, because my immune system was so bad, because the Neulasta just wasn't working, and it was just things that just wasn't working, I couldn't have visitors. No one could come visit me in my home. So everybody would call. And having that prayer time helped me through the times that I knew my spouse was afraid, and through his fear, that might have been where we might have been, at each other, But it was only because I've learned now and understand now fear. It was the fear of it. You know, so many years ago, doctors have done, because of God, wonderful things. That cancer, as Donna said, is not a death sentence.
Right.
You know, it's not. But again, when you hear the word, it's just the word. Yeah. And fear does creep in. But a support system, you have to have a good support system.
Yeah.
But then you have to go into yourself
Yeah.
and know that your mind is bigger than anything. It controls all. If you have your mind fixed on, I'm a fighter, and when I fight to the end, it does something.
Oh, yeah.
It does. Here's what it does. It lets you sit right here with girlfriends and talk. Because we don't look like what we've been through.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, my husband and I, and my son, were phenomenal. My stepdaughter lives out of town. But what I had to realize is they were watching me. They watch my eyebrows, my hair. Because at home, it's just me. I mean, you take all the makeup off and the wig and everything else, they see me. And, they don't want to sit there and look at me like, oh, because they know I'm not that type of person. I don't want them looking at me, because anytime anybody did that, I'm like, don't feel sorry for me.
That's right.
I don't feel sorry for myself. Don't you dare feel sorry for me. But they're seeing the change. How I'm walking, how, the weight gain, the hair loss, complexion change, feet killing you. My feet were just terrible. That was one thing that was really bad for me. And so they saw me, even though I'm like into myself, but I know that they see me. And I never wanted anybody to feel sorry for me. I never wanted, my husband or my son, who saw me every day. My son was actually in school, and he would come home, often. But so I told them, stay strong for me. Don't cry for me. If I cry, it's okay, because I'm a crier. I'm going to cry. It's amazing I haven't cried right now, but it's like, just if you be strong for me, that's going to get me through. Not feeling sorry for me. So my husband had to stop the way he was looking at me like, oh my goodness, what's happening to my wife, my strong wife. We've been together for so many years, since 1990. It's more so, help me get through this. Be strong for me. I know you see how I look. I know it's not perfect. I learned how to, put the eyebrows in, put my hair on, put a smile on, and get jazzy. I like the bling bling anyway. Keep it going. But that was important. And then the people at work were just fantastic. And when I told my group, I have 13 people that report to me. When I told them, they were just silent, because I'm a strong warrior here. It's like, Melinda is, They were great. Fantastic. The church community was just superb. That's why, anything that happens at church, my church is closing, unfortunately. I'm just so saddened by it. But I know we're going to go to another church together. But how they helped me get through this was just really, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the strength and the confidence that they helped me achieve. And without it, and of course, Donna.
Yes.
I just met you.
All my
Today. I already feel like I just know you today.
All my text messages from Donna were, it's amazing how you find out how people love you.
Yeah.
That you'll be like, wow.
Yeah.
I got this many people that just truly love me.
I know, it is amazing. It is
Yes.
amazing.
That, if they may not have been able to come and visit, but the phone calls, the text messages, it's just, oh my God.
Yeah.
Still today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still today. And here's why I say still today. I have a wonderful brother-in-law, and he just called me 2 days ago, and he calls me Tiny Poo. And he says, hey, I'm just checking in. He said, because here's what I want you to know that I know. I know that the journey's not over. He said, because you look wonderful, but I know it's not over. So I know that you still have good days and you still have bad days.
Yeah.
And I said, Ed, that's the truth. I said, because if anything, if I could give you this neuropathy, I'd give it to you in a minute. Because there's days that just can get me from my fingers and my toes, But he said it's not over. And so people look at you and they don't realize. They think, oh, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over. She's done now.
Yeah.
He said, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a journey that you have to live with still every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So he, you know, it's that when people still call and check on you and just say, hey, so I just want to know how you feeling. This is how you doing today.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's how you just embrace
Tremendous.
that. Oh, that love is
Oh
something.
yeah. It is. It is.
Ooh, thank you, Donna.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm telling you, them text messages, girl. And
You know, I have people that would text me, and still do. You know, and what I've done is I've passed it on. I text little messages. Hope you have a beautiful day.
Yeah.
You know, all these different things because it makes a difference.
It does.
In people's lives.
Yeah.
And we now know that every day is a precious day.
It is.
And before I had cancer, you would always hear you have to live each day like it may be your last. Now I understand that. So I enjoy every day. And things that used to bother me, I'm like, no. You know what? I'm not even
Don't
going
mean
there.
nothing.
Yeah, okay, you want to go there? I'm not going there.
Right.
I'm not going to let you upset me to the point that I'm just thrown off.
Yeah.
I can't let you steal my joy for the day.
Absolutely.
And you know, we do have our moments. You know, I still have my moments because I'm not married. And I thought that when I was going through my journey, that portion of my journey, I wanted somebody in my life. And now I'm like, oh, amen for Jesus. Somebody in my life. I can lay down when I want to lay down. When I want to be bothered, when nobody there. When I want to answer the phone, you know.
when you needed quiet, it was there.
I say he knew best. But you know, I'm glad that you all could come out so that we could share this because so many people need to see that it's not what TV say it is.
No.
You know, and what I did read, and I just want to share this with you, is that so many people read, and it's why I put my stuff on Facebook. So many people put out there on social media, oh, I got this pain, I got that pain. And what they said is that the true survivors and the people who enjoy life never come back so people can see how good they're moving because they're going on about living. And I think that we need to show people we've gone on about living, and if you ever get a diagnosis of cancer, it's about living. I mean, people have heart disease. They have all kind of diseases. And we just happen to have one disease that, you know, we just have
Learn to live with.
You learn to live with it. You learn that you got to exercise all the time. And even when you don't want to go exercise, you got to exercise. And you got to eat right 80% of the time because I still like fried chicken.
Well,
I
teach a
know.
spin class, ladies.
I might have do that. Okay.
Yeah, I hear you brutal.
No, I'm not. You know what? Let me say this. Working out, that was an avenue that got me through.
Me
You
too.
know, when I started out, I was able to go and I thought I could get those infusions and then get on that bike and teach a class. And I found out that I couldn't. And then they said, no, we got to reel you in. Your immune system is just too compromised, and we can't afford for you teaching these classes. And so I had to back off through my infusions. But when I came around for the radiation, I taught through those classes. I taught every day. And you know, that radiation will take you down. You'd be like,
It's
oh,
exhausting.
I used that bike to be my energy, to be my focus. And so when you are diagnosed with something of this nature, exercise is huge.
Oh, it is.
It is huge. It gets you. It really does get you through. So, so I'm gonna talk to you ladies some more, so y'all can come take a class with me.
Absolutely. You're right.
Okay, so ladies, I've heard you talk about faith, trusting your journey, laugh, don't sweat the small stuff. Okay, so as we maybe wrap this up and we want to share with viewers, you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, breast exams,
Yes.
mammograms,
Yes.
important. Get your partner to assist if needed.
Yeah, I tell all women that.
Yes.
Have some fun.
Okay. Physical fitness,
Yes.
eating and lifestyle
absolutely.
regimen is important. But I want you each to take a moment and share with me one thing that you would recommend or that's your mantra, or something that you would tell the viewers aside from those that we just said?
Well, mine is trust your journey. Whatever journey God has put you on, that path, trust that He has put you on the right path. And that whatever you have to deal with it, and it'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important. I think from what I've learned through this whole thing, that be kind to other people. When the cards that I received when I was going through all of that, and the flowers and the this, that, and the other, when you pick up a phone or anything that you say to a person, you never know when you're going to see that person again, or what that person is going through, or how a positive word is going to affect them. All the different things that people did for me while I was going through all that, I will never, ever, ever forget. And so when I speak to people, I remember that. Because you never know what they're going through, and you never know if a kind word is how it's going to impact them. So I put the negativity aside. Whatever adversity you come through, you address it square in the eye, and you depend on all those people who support you, those people who come to your house and sit there by you and look at you. And I remember my girlfriend coming over, seeing my scars and whatnot, and she's like, "It's okay, Melinda, it's going to be all right." Always address it with a positive nature, and you will succeed.
For me, it would be breathe. Breathe. And be grateful. Grateful. Breathe and be grateful.
LaTawn, Melinda, Donna, we're so thankful that you came and shared with us your journey and your experience, and we are so pleased that you're trusting your journey.
Yes.
You're breathing.
Yes, ma'am.
You're being nice to people.
Yes.
We wish you the best. We look forward to hearing from you and knowing that you're still trusting your journey and doing well.
Thank you.
This is Hazel Crest Television, and we thank you for watching.